All right, hello my amazing artist. Today we are going to learn and practice mixing primary colors to make secondary colors. Remember, the primary colors, or the colors that come first, are red, yellow, and blue. You'll notice I have crayons in primary colors, water, soluble markers, and colored pencils. I'm first going to show you how to mix crayons. This is something I learned when I was in high school, and I'm excited to pass this skill down to you. You'll notice also that crayons are different. What one crayon company thinks is blue, another one thinks is this color. The reds are different, the yellows are different. I encourage you to try as many different types of reds, yellows, and blues because it will produce different types of secondary colors. So let's get started. The trick to mixing primary colors with crayons is to take your time, go slow, and press lightly to start. I'm going to zoom in for you. So I'm gently pressing my yellow. You can hear my hand kind of swishing back and forth. I'm making one little layer. We're going to start building kind of a color sandwich. I went side to side with my yellow, so I'm gently going to put some red on top. Gently, just like making a sandwich, adding layers. It's very gentle. I'm going to go back and forth again with my yellow, making a sandwich of these two primary colors, red and yellow. I'm going to now start adding just a little bit more pressure and start working in circles. Yellow is the lightest primary color. Red and blue are pretty dark, so using yellow to press hard and blend will cause your crayons to mix. Look at that, red and yellow made orange. To remind myself, I'll put some red here. I'll put some yellow here. Now, that kind of looks more like yellow-orange, so if I want to, I gently, very lightly, so light, it's almost like you're coloring with a feather. Then go back with that yellow, press hard, kind of stir it up. Use circles to blend, circles. All right, that's more of the orange I want. Okay, let's slide over and work on our next set. I'm going to use blue and red. Now, if you were paying attention in our lesson, blue and red create purple. Sometimes it's called violet. Making another color sandwich very lightly. So light, it's like coloring with a feather. Going one direction, back and forth, kind of lines. Grab my next color and go the opposite direction very lightly. Very lightly. Again, we're building that color sandwich, creating layers upon layers. You'll notice that each time I change directions. Very lightly. Now, I think I've got enough color. But pretty soon I'm going to start pressing harder. Now, red and blue are both pretty dark colors with the primaries. So I'm going to try stirring in circles, kind of stirring up that color by pressing harder and moving in circles. Kind of looks more like a purpley red. That tells me I need some more blue. So I'm going to go the opposite direction, pressing a little harder, using circles. Going back and forth, my crayon's a little dull. Makes it a little harder to hold. You'll notice the color's getting more brilliant because I'm adding more pressure. But I don't add that pressure to start with because the colors will not layer. Oh, this is looking great. Here's that purple. That beautiful purple. I'm very happy with that. Just a reminder, we used this blue and red. And last but not least, we're going to use blue and yellow. Now remember, I also had a different type of blue, so I'm going to use that instead just to experiment a little bit. I'm going to use yellow first, very light, one direction. Start building your color sandwich. Opposite direction. This is one of my favorite things to do, is to create colors and to see how only just a little bit of color can influence and make a new color. It's one of my favorite things about art, is seeing how colors are made and how colors change, and I love colors. I think I have enough layers, so I'm going to add just a little bit more blue. It doesn't take a lot because yellow and blue are creating green. And just like in orange, we're going to use this yellow to press hard in circles. Notice how these are not big circles? They're tiny circles, almost like you are scrubbing a dish. When you're cleaning dishes, you are going in circles. The wax of this crayon is now getting sticky and blending those layers that you created in your color sandwich. As I start to look at this, I start to think, does this look more green, more blue, more yellow? I think it still has a lot of yellow in it, almost kind of like a dark yellow, so I'm going to go back over it, start adding some circles of blue. There we go. Now we're starting to look green. This is a process. It's not something that happens instantly. You mix, you look, you think. You mix, you look, you think. Oh, I like that green. Again, green happened because we used blue and yellow, two of the three primary colors. I'm going to slide over and also show you this with colored pencils, because that's a supply you also might have at home. It's okay if you don't. Crayons work just fine. I'm going to move a little faster, but using the same concept. Light layers. And change direction, start moving in circles. Colored pencils are a little softer, so they blend a little differently. Starting to add pressure. You're seeing that orange glow happening because that pressure added is starting to mix the layers that were created. Be gentle, take your time. Right, see, that's a pretty good orange. I'm going to hold off on doing the others because you saw these with crayon and you saw an example with colored pencil. Last but not least, we're going to experiment with markers. For some of you, you might have water soluble. That means they can be washable, water soluble markers at home. And I'm going to show you a little trick that may or may not work. We're going to experiment today. I'm taking markers that are not dried out and making 3 dots. Because they're washable, it means that they can wipe off with water. So I'm going to get a paintbrush. If you have it at home, great. If not, you can use a Q-tip, cotton swab, or paper towel, or a sponge, anything like that. So I've got my paintbrush and I dipped it in some water. Now let's see what happens. I'm going to pet, pet, pet like a puppy dog and stir, stir. What I'm doing is trying to wake up that color. There's some red. It's a little hard to see. Clean my brush. I'm going to get some yellow before it dries. I'm getting kind of a peachy color. And again, this is just an experiment to see if there's something else at home that will allow you to mix colors. So there's blue, See if I can pick up some red. Just a little bit. I could always go back and make some more marks. It looks like I just didn't make enough marker for my paint. Let me get some more yellow to make some green. Always clean your brush in between. There we go. These are very light, but we're still seeing those primary colors creating the secondary colors. They're called secondary because they come second after the first ones are mixed together. Let's try that orange again. Red. Clean your brush. Yellow. It is okay if you do not have markers at home, if you do not have a paintbrush at home, if you don't have colored pencils. I know crayons are some of our most common items, so we can start there. But I wanted to show you different options. So go ahead and let's practice that, and grab a paper, anything you want to draw on, and show me how you mix colors. If it doesn't work the first time, keep practicing. Show me that practice paper. Happy making!